Hi there and welcome to the 64th live tech Q&A session. And here you can ask me some tech related questions and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. And you can just post your tech related questions in the YouTube comment sections below and I'll take them over. And we do this for about 30 or 40 minutes. And we do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. India time. But next week I'm actually traveling, so the schedule will be a little bit different. But let's start this session. And the first question that I got is from Sri Rajeshima Reddy, and he says, hi Ranjit, good evening. Please suggest me a smartphone under rupees 25,000 for long-term usage with good performance. As of now, I would say you can have a look at the Note 3 Neo. I think so. It's selling for around 22,500 to 23,000. It's a large screen size phone, and overall the performance is also pretty decent. Also have good battery life. I'm not very sure if when this OnePlus One is going to come in India. I'm hearing that it's going to come out very soon, but I've been using this phone now for about roughly 2.5 days and very impressed with it. Heard that even the 64 gig version that I'm using will be priced under 25,000. So if you can wait, I think so this might be the best deal. And I have to say, I use a ton of phones, high-end phones or whatever. No way it looks like when you use this phone is a mid-range phone. The performance is like a high-end phone. The build quality is also excellent. It's a solidly built phone. But again, I don't know when it's going to launch in India. It's going to launch soon in India, but I just don't know when. Let's move to the next question. Sorry guys, my throat is a little bit iffy, so please just bear with me. Let me just select the second question. The questions are just scrolling. Anyways, this is from Jay, and he's asking us, Note 4 worth the price of 57,000, excluding the S Pen features. By the way, great job, love your videos. Thank you, Jay. Yes, I have the Note 4. This is my personal unit, and yes, the price is actually very high of the Note. It's for about 57,000 or whatever. I heard that if you bargain a lot and you know some sources, you can get it for about 55,000. But still, the price is pretty high, I would say. But if the price is not an issue to you, I would say it is one of the best phones built by Samsung till date. Yes, it's again a large phone. So if you're not comfortable with large phones, forget it. But if you like large screen size phones and budget is not an issue, definitely the Note 4 is a very good phone. The build quality is very good because it is metallic now and gives a good feel. Overall, it's a very nice phone. But in terms of battery life, I would say it can easily last for a full 1 working day. But if I start comparing it with the Note 3, I would say the battery life on the Note 3 was slightly better. But again, overall, it's a nice phone. But yes, the price is a little bit on the higher side. Let's move to the next question. This is by Dick Vijay Singh. He's asking when he says he has a Moto G first generation, and when he charges with a Xiaomi 10,400 milliamp hour, phone gets warm. Is it normal? Yes, it's normal. Actually, almost every phone when you charge it, it does get warm with high capacity charge. And the power bank, I think so can output up to 2 amperes. So it's just normal that it gets warm with high amperage chargers. So let's move to the next question. Let's take this one. This is by Shobit Agarwal. He says, is Moto X a great buy at this time for 10,000 or any other phone with high-end specs under 25,000 with 5-inch screen? Shobit, if you're getting the Moto X first generation for 10,000, just go ahead and grab it. It's an excellent deal in my opinion. Don't even look at something else. But yes, under 25,000 with around 5-inch display, if you can wait, the OnePlus One might be coming to India at that price point, and that would be the excellent buy. Again, as I told you, we also have the Note 3 Neo, which is also a good phone around that price point, under 25,000. This is by Aman Khan. And he's asking us, will the OnePlus One get Android Lollipop update? Yes, the OnePlus One is going to get the Android Lollipop update. It's already been confirmed. So we should get it soon. And this is by Arthav. He's asking me, What about the HTC Desire? Will you be reviewing it? Sorry, I don't think so. I will be reviewing it. Just understand, guys, that there are tons and tons of devices that get launched, and I just simply cannot review all the devices due to time constraints and the budget constraints. So I don't think so. I might be reviewing the HTC Desire I as of now, because I have some other devices lined up for testing. Did I take this question? Again, this is regarding OnePlus One versus Note 3 Neo. Which one would be the best? Definitely the OnePlus One. I would give the vote to the OnePlus One over the Note 3 Neo. This is a sort of a personal question, but I'll just take it. This is by Nayan, and he says, how did the word geeky add to your name, and why did you stop your website, Tech2Buzz? And why are you not joining Amit Bhavani's monthly tech report? The word geeky, it was just fun. When I started my channel, I just started with fun, and I just added, my name was Ranjit, and my friends used to call me geeky. I've been a geek all my life, and even before starting this YouTube channel for about 10 odd years, many of my friends used to ask me about gadgets, what to buy, what not, and some of them used to call me geeky. So I just started the channel with the name of Geekyranjit. No thought about it. And regarding why did I stop updating my site tech2buzz.com, it's just the time. I just don't have the time for it. So I just want to concentrate on things, what I can do, and I just want to give quality time on things what I do. I don't want to do 10 things and don't be good in all those 10 things. I might just do one thing and I'll be good in that. So I just don't have the time for the tech2buzz.com website, hence I stopped it. And again, regarding Amit Bhavani's monthly tech report also, it's again the timing factor, because it's a live show. Sometimes he's not there, sometimes I'm not there. So that's the issue. Let me move to the next question. Guys, again, give me a second. This is by Jitendra Singh. Looks like an interesting question. Let's take it. And he says, good evening. I have a question. Let's say you are a normal user, not a reviewer. Then you have to make a decision to buy a phone. What features will you first see on that phone? Very interesting question. Again, as a reviewer also, it's the same things that I look. I would say decide on the screen. Some people like large screen size devices. Some people like a small screen device. Second thing, according to me, personally for me at least, will be the fluidness of the device. That's really important. I am a very finicky person. If I see a lot of lag on a device or something, I don't like it. And third important thing, really important, at least in smartphones, I feel, is the battery life. So these are the things that I look. Also, another thing that you need to look is actually the display quality, because if you notice on the smartphone, majority of the thing, almost 80% of the thing is just the display. So I think so you should also look at the display. So these are the major parameters that you need to look at. Let's move to the next question. Oops. Let me mute the 1 second. I'm getting 1 second, guys. Just give me a second. Forgot to mute all the phones before going live. Anyways, let's move. Naman is asking me about the Moto Hint and the Moto Power Bank. Sorry, Naman, I did not test those products, and I doubt I'll test those products because they are not available in India, so cannot comment about it. This is a question by Abhijit. Let's take this one. And he's asking us, did you face any heating issues on Android One devices? I have this Spice Android One device, and I would say in normal day-to-day usage, while making calls, casual browsing, etc., even on 3G, I did not face any heating issues. Yes, it heats up a little bit with extended gaming, but that's the case with almost any smartphone. If you do extended gaming more than 10 minutes, most of the smartphones get a little bit heated up, and this one also does that. But in normal day-to-day usage, I did not face any heating issues with this device. Nikhil is asking me about website. I guess, Nikhil, I'm the wrong person to ask advice about a website. I just shut off my website, that's tech2buzz.com. So I don't know. I'm not successful at websites. Let me just move to the next question. And I think so I have answered this question in the earlier Q&A also, but let's take this. And this is by Uttarkash. He's asking us, will the Moto E receive Android Lollipop update? If it receives, do you think that it's going to be a big update, say more than 500 MB? Because my device has only 700 odd MB of storage left. Moto E is going to get the Android L, that is Lollipop update. It has been already confirmed by Motorola. Yes, I can't speculate about the actual storage that it might take. But yes, Android Lollipop, that is Android L, runs on the ART runtime. So it will occupy a little bit more storage compared to the earlier versions. But again, when will Motorola release? We are not very clear. They did not release the dates. In fact, the Moto, in some regions, have already started getting the Android L update. Let's move to the next question. Some of you, I'll take this question, but I don't have an answer to this, but I'll take this up. And this is by Ankush. Will the Note 3 Neo get the Lollipop update? I'm not very sure about it. And to be very frank, Samsung is also not very, they don't come out very cleanly on which devices are going to get the update or not. Yes, we know the flagship devices of Samsung. For example, they have promised that the Note 4, Galaxy S5, and even the S4 and the Note 3 will get the Android Lollipop update. But they haven't mentioned anything about their mid-range devices and the lower-end devices. So I'm not very sure about it. So generally, the trend is the higher-end devices do get the latest updates, but mid-range and lower devices generally don't get the update. That's how this industry works, but it sucks. Yes. So let's hope you get it. Okay, this is an interesting question. This is by Virbhash Sharma, and he's asking us, Moto X or the Nexus 5, which is better? I would definitely say go with the Moto X2. The reason for that is both the devices are actually very fluid. In fact, the Moto X2 is slightly faster because it has an updated chipset. That's the Snapdragon 801. The biggest advantage, I think, so the Moto X2 has over the Nexus 5 is in the terms of battery life. The battery life that you can get with the Moto X2 is far superior compared to the Nexus 5. Also, I noticed that the Nexus 5, when you stress it, use it very heavily over 3G and do some gaming, it does tend to heat up a little bit, but that's not the case with the Moto X2. So definitely I'll say go with the Moto X2 over the Nexus 5. And yes, both the devices will get the latest Android updates. Let's move to the next question. This is by Anshul Modi, and he says, if I have a Note 4 and a Moto 360 watch connected via Bluetooth, can I use my Bluetooth headset also at the same time? So when I answer call on Moto 360, I can speak via Bluetooth headset. I have actually the same setup, but I don't use a Bluetooth headset. Here is the Moto 360 that I have, and this is the Note 4. I don't use a Bluetooth headset, so I did not try it. But one thing you need to be very clear, Moto 360 does not have, speaker. So you actually cannot take calls on the device. Yes, whenever some person is calling or whatever, you get a notification like this, you can accept or reject the call. If you accept the call, yes, you have to pick up your, phone to take the call. But you can't directly speak with this Moto 360. It's not designed like that. I haven't tried a Bluetooth headset, but I'm sure it should work. You should be able to just accept the call here and take it with it. But I haven't tested that, but it should work. I would say 95% chance it should work. I just don't use Bluetooth headset, guys, so didn't test it. This is a question by Mr. Derpin. Okay, sorry, I got your name wrong, but let's take your question. What's your opinion on the LG G3? Yeah, this is the LG G3. And I have used this handset for, I don't know, about 2.5 to 3 months as my primary device. Overall, I would say it's a nice handset. The biggest advantage that LG G3 has that no other handset has is that even though it has a 5.5-inch screen, you can easily use it with a single hand. That's not the case with many other devices that have 5.5-inch screen. So that's the biggest advantage. And the camera is camera. Overall, the performance of this device is decent, but one place where this LG G3 falls short, according to me, is sometimes, I'll stress, it's only sometimes, I notice UI lag on this device. In fact, I would suggest that I have already posted the in-depth review for the LG G3. I would suggest that you check that video out. But overall, it's again a very good device. And if you're going to buy the LG G3, opt for the 32 gig version, because with the 32 gig version, you get 3 gigs of RAM. With the 16 GB variant, you just get 2 gigs of RAM. I hope that info helps you. Let's move. This is a very interesting question. This is by Rohit Mukherjee, and he's asking us, are tech giveaways worth entering? I don't know, man. I have never got anything in my life in a giveaway. I don't enter into giveaways or whatever. I'm highly unlucky in that. So maybe you might have a better luck, but I just don't even bother to get into these giveaways or whatnot. Let's move. This is by Jitendra Singh, a very offbeat question. He says, I have started a YouTube channel. I want to ask what to look before buying a microphone, because I have a lot of background noise at my place. Is there any microphone which can block that? And what can be the price of a good microphone? Jitendra, actually, if you see, this is the mic that I'm been using now. It's been almost 4 years since I'm using. This is the Blue Yeti mic, and it has multiple patterns. The cardioid pattern, what it does is it just picks up the noise, voice only from this direction. It tries to ignore from background or whatever. So look for a microphone that has a cardioid pattern that will like block much of the ambient noise. But again, still, even with the microphone, it can only do so much. You have to actually soundproof the room. In fact, if you recall, if you have been watching my channels, I don't think so you were, watch some of my videos that are 3.5 years old or whatever. I had to, soundproof this room, because even with a cardioid mic like this, which actually blocks some of the noise, you cannot eliminate everything. So yes, look at the cardioid mic. And regarding microphones, I'm not very sure what kind of microphones you get in India, but this Blue Yeti, I think so it was just $110 or $120 when I purchased it, and it's been functioning actually pretty well. I didn't expect that it will last so long. Anyways, let's move to the next question. Is dual-core mobile phone good for gaming or a quad-core? Yes, even a dual-core processor on a mobile phone is good enough. One thing very important for gaming is look at the actual GPU. That is the graphic processor. That is actually very important. And also look at RAM. I would say look at devices that have at least 1 gig of RAM. And also one thing many people just ignore when they're buying a phone for gaming especially is the internal storage. At least on Android devices, the internal storage should be high, else you simply won't be able to install a lot of games. You might be just be able to install 3-4 games and you'll be out of storage. So look, apart from the processor, the GPU, the internal storage, and I would say RAM at least 1 GB is important. This is by Manoj, and he is asking us, he says, my friend wants to buy a phone for a price around rupees 10,000. Is the Moto G 16 GB a good buy for the price of 9,999? Please suggest any other alternative for the same price. Battery backup and call quality is important. Manoj, as of now, yeah, the Moto G is a decent buy. Apart from Moto G, I would say the only suggestion that I have as of now in that price point is the Asus Zenfone 5. But again, the problem with the Asus Zenfone 5 is the battery life is not stellar. But in terms of call quality, the call quality in the Asus Zenfone 5 is excellent. So I would say decide between the Moto G or the Asus Zenfone 5. Again, I have already done the in-depth review for both these devices. So check out my channel for more info on those devices. Let's move to the next one. This is by Saeed again. What do you say? This is regarding updates. He says, I want to ask, I have the LG G2. What is the possibility that it will get Android updated to Android version 5? Is it worth upgrading to LG G3? Uh, Sagi, the thing is, when people ask me about upgrading, the first question I just want to ask you is, as you already have the LG G2, are you happy with that handset? If you are already happy with that handset, there is no point upgrading. And in fact, I would say, in terms of fluidity, the LG G2 is much more fluid compared to the LG G3. The LG G3 has some lag, but the LG G2 did not have. In fact, in the battery life also, I would say the LG G2 had better battery life compared to the LG G3. In terms of camera, both are very similar. Yes, the focusing is a little bit faster on the LG G3, but I don't think so it's a huge difference. We are LG has already started rolling out the lollipop update on the LG G3. I'm not very sure, but looks like it will also come to the LG G2. But again, have no idea when it will come. Let's move to the next question. Wow, this is a classic question. Oops. Oh God, 1 second, guys. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. Okay, let's take this question. This is by Aditya. He's asking us, should I buy the latest 32-bit architecture phone or wait for the 64-bit architecture to become popular in Android segment and buy it? Aditya, I would say that as of now, it doesn't make a huge difference if you buy a 32-bit based Android phone or a 64-bit. Let's just take the classic case of Nexus 6, which is Google's official device, sort of, and that runs on the Snapdragon 805 chipset, which is a 32-bit chip. So as of now, at least for a year or whatever, there'll be no major difference if you get a 32-bit edition phone or a 64-bit. In fact, we are going to get 64-bit edition phones. The Snapdragon 810 chipset is 64-bit, but those devices will start coming in early 2015. It's rumored that the Samsung Galaxy S6 might sport that chip. But as of now, it doesn't make a huge difference in my opinion. And also, I don't think so we have many of the apps or whatever that can take huge advantage or 32-bit that, for example, the biggest advantage is that with the 64-bit you can go over 4 gigs, but I don't think so we have any mobile apps or whatever that require that much memory as of now. So as of now, you are sort of safe. And the biggest example is, if it was not safe, Google would have gone with the 64-bit processor for the Nexus 6, but they have opted for the 32-bit edition. So I hope that answers your question. Let me move to the next question, guys. Just give me a second. Okay, this is an interesting question. Let's take this, and sort of tricky question also because mixed results. This is by Rishabh, and he says, which is better, Moto G2 or the Grand Prime? Specs are best combination of software and hardware, and good battery, and camera performance should be good without lag. Okay, it's a very interesting question, I would say. And I would say the Grand Prime is actually a lot more fluid compared to the Moto G2, though it runs TouchWiz, which was surprising. But definitely in terms of battery life, the Grand Prime is better, and also in camera performance, the Grand Prime is better. But one area where the Moto G2 is better is in terms of the screen quality and the sensors. In fact, you don't even have the auto brightness sensor on the Grand Prime, and no USB OTG support. Those things are there on the Moto G2. So as you can see, the Moto G2 has some benefits, whereas the Grand Prime also has some benefits. So decide what is important for you and go with it. The Grand Prime is a fluid device, has very good battery life, and also the camera performance is very good. In fact, the front-facing camera on the Grand Prime is also very nice. Again, I've already done the review for the Moto G2 and even the Grand Prime on my channel. So check out that for more info. Let's move now to the next question. Just give me a second, guys. This is by Sanket. He's asking me about the HTC Desire 820 versus Samsung Note 3. Sanket, I haven't tested the HTC Desire 820 yet, so cannot comment on it. I just don't like to comment on products which I haven't tested. This is an interesting question regarding the Nokia Lumia 1020. Highlighting factor of this device is the actual camera on this. It's a smartphone come camera, I say. And he said, what are the pros and cons of the Lumia 1020? How is the quality of the front facing? The front facing camera is actually not that great. I was disappointed because the rear facing camera is fabulous. Battery life is sort of okay, I would say, just okay-ish. On a heavy day usage, I have to charge it in the evening. So battery life, I would say moderate usage is okay, but if you're sort of a heavy user, it won't last you. So battery life is not very good. Speaker quality is good. Price at 24,000, I would say yes, if you like the camera. Again, one thing with the Lumia 1020 is that though the sensor is very nice and it has that Xeon flash, the thing in the auto mode is that the white balance is very off in the auto mode. So this device does offer us a lot of manual control. So if you're comfortable with that and you know a little bit about camera, white balance, etc., you can get excellent shots. But in full auto mode, I noticed that the white balance was a little bit off. So the colors were a little bit off with the Lumia 1020. That's my only con with this device. And battery life, as I told you, is not among the best if you compare with high-end devices. Let's move. This is again a classic question. This is by Smith Rana. He's asking us, what is the difference between ART and Dalvik runtime? Which one is better? Smith, as of now, till Android KitKat, the default runtime is Dalvik. But with KitKat, if you enable the developer mode, you can go to the ART runtime. In ART runtime, the applications are actually pre-compiled. With the Dalvik, it's runtime. When you run the application, whatever, they get compiled and they run. So ART is actually technically a little bit faster. And also in terms of battery life, it is more efficient. But the con with the ART is that in terms of storage, it takes up a little bit more storage space. But with Android L, that is Lollipop update, Android 5, the runtime that will be default is the ART runtime. So if you're going to get the ART, Android L update on your device or a device running Android L, by default, it'll have ART enabled. In fact, this LG G3 had Dalvik by default. And as I told you, this device does have a little bit lag. And I could reduce that lag a little bit by moving to the ART runtime. But again, just be careful because not every device runs very smoothly on ART runtime. So if you plan to move from Dalvik to ART, just Google about your device and see if it runs fine with the ART runtime. Some of the Samsung devices, older ones, had some issues and they were getting into boot loops. So before doing it, just Google about your specific device. Let's move to the next question. Again, a lot of you guys are asking me about Android L update on specific device. Sorry, guys, these companies don't share those details with me, so I simply cannot answer. This is by Narin Pai. He says, when is the Nexus 9 coming to India? What will be its pricing? Will you review it? I don't think so. I'll be reviewing the Nexus 9 tablet. The price, it's already listed on the Google Play India store. I think so it's priced around 28,500 to 29,000. I don't recall the exact pricing. So you can just go to, Google Play India store, and the Nexus 9 tablet is already listed over there. The Wi-Fi version is priced decently, but the cellular version was priced very high. I don't recall, but it was actually pretty high. This is by Yogesh. He says, please suggest a Sony phone for my mother under rupees 30,000. She prefers Sony, being a long-term user of it. As it's for your mother, I don't think so. She might prefer very large phones. So you can have a look at the Xperia Z2 compact. That was a nice phone, and I think so it should be under 30,000. If you like large screen size devices, even the Xperia Z2, I don't recall the price of the Xperia Z2. Just check. You can check that. That's also a nice device. This is by Ramtej Durga. He's asking me, will you review the Yota and the Jola phones? Sorry, I won't be reviewing both those devices. Just understand, guys, I simply cannot review every device that comes out. In fact, I review less than 20% of the devices that come out. Let's move to the next question. Just give me a second, please. This is by Hemant. He's asking us, what are the views on the Galaxy Alpha? Should I go for the iPhone 5C, Galaxy S5, Galaxy Alpha, or should I wait for the HTC Desire 820? Hemant, I would suggest that decide what size of phone that you want. You want a bigger device or a compact size device. The Alpha is ideal for a person. For example, I have this iPhone 6. The Alpha size is also similar to this. It can easily fit in a single hand. If you want a device that can easily fit in a single hand, then yes, definitely you can have a look at the Galaxy Alpha. I've already posted some videos on the Alpha. Again, I'll be posting a few more, and even I'll compare it with the iPhone 6. Yes, even the iPhone 5C is a decent device if you're on a tight budget. So just wait for my videos on the Alpha. I've already posted 2, but I'll be posting my full in-depth review and also compare it with the iPhone 6 very soon. This is by Piyush. He's asking which Android one is best among the 3, Micromax, Spice, or Carbon. In fact, all the 3 devices are exactly the same because the internals on all the 3 devices are the same, exactly the same, specified by Google. These manufacturers just can't put whatever they want on Android One devices. The only thing that is different in these devices is the back cover. The back covers are a little bit different on Spice, Carbon, and Micromax. So decide what you like. And between the Android One or the Honor Holly, any day, the Android One device, I would say. I've already posted the video of the Honor Holly. You can check out that video for the pros and cons of that device. Again, this sort of a personal question. This is by Shayu. He's asking me, what are the games you are playing on the PS4? I just 3 days ago downloaded the Modern Combat, the latest one. Call of Duty. I'm calling Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare, the latest one I downloaded. And also prior to that, I also did purchase the Destiny because I got it on a sale. So those were the 2 games that I tested. I played a little bit. And prior to that, I played one game that I played a lot. The maximum on my PS4 was the Battlefield. Waiting for the next release of the Battlefield, but that will come in 2015. Let's move to the next question. This is by Razor, and he's asking us, how's the OnePlus One battery? Can we get 2 days out of it? The battery life on this OnePlus One is amazing. It has to be one of the best batteries I've seen on an Android device. It is even better than the Note 4. After using this OnePlus One, I feel the battery life on the Note 4 is average. It's so good. And yes, it can easily last for about 2 days. It's amazing battery life. But again, the battery is not user replaceable. It's sealed inside. It's a 3100 milliamp hour battery. Excellent battery life. One of the best I've seen on an Android device. Let's move. Karthik is asking about Moto X first generation updates now that Lenovo has taken over. I don't think so. That should hamper it because Lenovo understands that Motorola is a different brand and they will continue to give out updates as still the hardware is supported and the chipset support. So I'm not worried about it. And the Moto X first generation is still a pretty decent device in my opinion. In fact, under 20,000, it's one of the good phones as of now. Corner's battery life is slightly on the averages side. Let's move for Anmol is asking me which phone are you using personally. Earlier I was using the LG G3, but now I have moved to the Note 4, and I'm liking it. I never thought that I'll like it because it's slightly bigger, but I've started to enjoy it because I'm telling you, it's a very good built phone, and the in-hand feel of the Note 4 is very good. This little bit of metal actually makes a lot of difference in my opinion when you hold the device. This is by Dr. Krishna. He's saying, I'm using an Android phone, planning to buy a tablet, Notion Ink Cane or the iPad Air. Budget is not an issue. This is the Notion Ink I have, but I would say, yes, it can act like a tablet or a laptop hybrid. But as you told that you can also buy an iPad Air, I would definitely go with the iPad Air because it's just too heavy and the battery life is also not as great as the iPad Air. So definitely for the tablet needs, I would say go with the iPad Air. In fact, this is not mine. This is my friend's. He also has a iPad Air and this Notion Ink. And I asked him the same question, and he says that he prefers his iPad over this one. The thing is that tablet should be light, and it's actually pretty heavy to hold in the hand. Let's move. This is by Vineet. I don't have an answer, but I'll take it. And some of you others also asked me similar questions, so I'll take it. He's asking us what price should we expect for the OnePlus One 64GB. I know it's the millionth time you've heard this question. Again, guys, I have no idea what will be the pricing of this OnePlus One 64GB edition in India, but I've heard strong rumors. I would say again rumors because there is no official statement that it might be priced below 25,000 for the 64GB variant. That makes me very excited because if they can price the 64GB variant below 25,000, what's for the 16GB variant? So again, let's wait and let's see what will be the official pricing. We should know that soon. I don't know when they are launching, but I hope they launch it soon in India. This is by Yogesh. Let's take this question. He says, what should I like, the Moto G second generation or the Asus Zenfone 5? His priorities are good battery life and good loudspeaker. Please suggest me one of them under 15,000. Definitely, as you already told me that battery life is important and the loudspeaker is important, go with the Moto G2 because Zenfone 5, those are the two biggest flaws. The battery life is average and the speaker is, oh my God. The loudspeaker is so teeny that you can hardly hear when you put it on the loudspeaker. One more device that you can look under 15,000 is the Samsung Galaxy Grand Prime. And I have already done the review for all these three devices, so you can check out my video review for the pros and cons of those devices. Let's move. This is by Sapphire Shakti. He's asking, Lollipop supports app to SD. Will the apps and games data completely move to the SD card? We'll know it very soon when the Lollipop comes, and I think so it should come to even the Note 4 by December. I'll definitely test it. And yes, I've heard that finally, I'm thankful to Google that they have enabled moving the apps to the SD card with Android Lollipop update. So I'm excited about that, and I'll definitely test it. So guys, it's been over 40 minutes now, so I will be ending this session. And again, as I told you, next week I'm sort of traveling on Tuesday. So this session won't be done on 7 p.m. But yes, I will try to do a session sometime in afternoon, and it's going to be a special edition. It won't be a proper Q&A, but something special. So again, I'll post about it as and when. And it's a good idea to follow me on Twitter. I'll post about it on my Twitter feed. That is @Geekyranjit. And again, I thank you for joining me, and I hope that you'll be able to join me even in the next session. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.